Hey,
Hey!
everybody, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, look
I
who's
hope you
here.
had a good New Year. Took in the New Year well. How did you do, my friend?
Man, let me see. It was very nice. Ups and downs? Not really. It was really nice. I spent Christmas time with my wife and friends. We went to their house and had a big old dinner. Sadly, no turkey, just tacos.
Mm.
But they were good tacos. And then come the new year. We had the Japan. We have this like countdown show. It's you lead up to it. It's in England and the West in America. They have the countdown with the light coming down the I forget the name of
Times
the
Square
place, but
light
Times
ball
Square.
thing,
Yeah, yeah. In England we have the countdown with the London
London
Eye.
Eye.
Yeah, and for Japan, none of that. In the morning, you go to a shrine and you say your prayers. But leading up to it, the night before, is that's their Christmas dinner. Is have like a dinner with the family. I did that like past 3 years at least, because I'm married 3 years, and yeah, just hanging out with the family, having this great meal and so on. Usually a lot of sober. It's just a Japanese thing. Watching these singers. There's this one singer in Japan who's really is an actor that I really love. So sad moment seeing a song about him in his passing because he passed this year. And yeah, just the count was really nice and a lot of fun memories. Went to the forest and all that malarkey just to breathe in the New Year's air. It's very much a nature-based thing, but I'm a techno dude, you know. So once that's over, I'm back to the lab, back to the studio, Game of Dan. Well, not Game of Dan, is it? Today is someone else. And
That's
yeah.
right. We'll more on that soon. Yeah, I had a nice one. I like the getting up in the morning. For the last 3 years, all every year I spend in Japan, I get up early before sunrise. I go somewhere and I take a picture of the sun coming up because
Mm,
that's technically when the day begins. It's when the sun has risen. That's when the day has begun. So that's the beginning of the new year. And it's kind of a symbolic thing. In the other cities, the other places I've been, you get a lot of people go to the local like giant hill. I want to say mountain, but it's not. It's too small for that. But they go to like the highest outcropping, and everyone's taking pictures. But me, I spent New Year's literally the turn of the to the new year in a concert.
mm.
I went to a concert and I listened to music and before saw performances, and then when it got to the new year, it was cool,
Jeez.
very
Yo,
classy. See,
I didn't hear about
I'm
this.
wearing a jacket, I'm wearing a shirt and a sweater, and you see my new form, MovieDan.
My
Gamer Dan is here
gosh.
to talk about gaming, and Movie Dan is here to talk about movies. We've been talking about
Bloody
me
hell.
doing movie reviews for a while. It's time to bite the bullet and just get the damn things over with. For all your
Yo.
fans, if there are any movies you want me to review, put it down in the comments. Let us know. I will happily jump on and I will do a review. Yes, it's going to be a little bit tongue in cheek because I start all my reviews with, "Hello, I'm Movie Dan, and I'm an Englishman." Like that great episode from South Park. But I study film and I do love films intensely, so I will
Yes.
endeavor to do some
Oh,
justice.
sorry, mate. The yeah. Sorry, mate. Can you hear me game then? Or movie then?
I can hear you. The visuals between now. But
Is it
on that, we are jumping forwards. Today we are going to be talking no less about games because there's not a lot of rumblings. Everyone's going quiet for the new year, and because the only thing coming out of gaming news is Switch 2. Switch 2,
yeah.
Switch 2 rumors, Switch 2 rumors. That all seems to be what everyone's talking about. So we're going to be looking at movies, but we are going to be talking about a video game movie, Sonic 3.
Yeah. Nice transition. It's a little you got
Little
something that
segue.
yeah, it pleases both fans. It's a great way to yeah, segue into it. So today, not only are we going to talk about a movie that we're a fan of the trilogy of, I kind of given it away, but are you going to see the actual third movie at some point, Game then?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
Watch
actually watching it
movie.
today. I'm going to the cinema. I decided I'm going to see it on the big screen, and yeah, I'm going to watch it today. So we were
Nice.
recording this in the morning, and in the afternoon, I'm heading off. Going to get myself a couple of giant buckets of salted popcorn. Used to be
Ah,
sweet, and
dude.
now
You-
salted popcorn these days, and I'm going to enjoy the movie.
Dude, this is it. This is we've evolved indeed, or I should say, transformed. Yes, movie done. It's I've seen Gamer done so much, it's hard to kind of take trick my mind out of it, but it's an ill settling. And here is people. Another thing about the movie done era, that's the beginning, excuse me, is movie done actually, well, and I too, you have a bit of theater background. In fact, he has a lot more than me. As it goes. So because of that, we have respect for the craft. This is one thing about
Mm.
us is that we talk gaming news. We don't talk about gaming. I mean, this is obvious, but we don't talk about gaming as people who've never played a bloody game. And not to mention me, I come from at least three courses at university just revolving around game development. So I'm into the coding. Dan Gamer Dan's into the gameplay and he knows a lot about more of the lore than I do, and I love gaming lore. But when it comes to movie Dan now, we get to bring in our thespianistic side. And yes, I've got a background in singing, as you probably know. This is part of the reason I do music. Why you asked me to do music video reviews because of my knowledge and so on of that. So music theater, even dance. Again, movie dance kills me when it comes to the actual being on recorded shows and so on. So we both respect the craft of what we're talking about, but we're also critics to give
Yes.
a yeah. So
We
to give
we
an
have
honest review.
some basis in academic knowledge, and we're going to use that to talk more comprehensively about stuff we're passionate about. And it's true. I was a big thespian. It helped me come out of my shell. It helped me lose weight and make friends. So I grew up on stage as much as in school. I was so that's just second nature for me to do that. And you'll notice I've slowly been changing the lighting on my screens and my recordings and adding a bit of depth, something in the background there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about
Um,
that, bro.
but yeah, today we're gonna watch a quick vignette, just a short little teaser by Jim Carrey talking about his work with the new movie, and it's gonna have some little teasers for the film, but nothing that hasn't already been appeared in trailers. So no spoilers,
Oh, thank
but I am
goodness.
excited for the movie. I'm excited for a bunch of things. I mean, the first film was sweet and earnest, and despite the abysmal Ugly Sonic beginning, they really pulled it back. The film was a solid film, great voice acting work.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see, Cyclops as actor get a great,
Yeah,
James
it's
Marsden get a
Cyclops.
good role. The second one, fantastic. Idris Elba as
Yeah, oh my God,
Knuckles.
Knuckles, man.
Oh my God, that buttery smooth voice in
Yeah.
deadpan kind of performance works so well. But it was such an honor that they were going almost beat for beat with the original story. The first one was Robotnik versus Sonic. Then the second game, they introduced Knuckles, who was being lied to by Robotnik. They just, pound for pound.
Is
And
it,
the third one
yeah.
is it's just Sonic Adventure 2. We're just watching the film version of Sonic Adventure 2 with, you know, multiple Robotniks. And so happy that they are
Dude.
treating the source material with respect. It might be why the film is so successful because it came out around the same time as that Mufasa movie, which oh,
We'll talk about that. We won't we? Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
why would I want to watch a prequel of a guy who dies early in the first film? The first film wasn't even about Mufasa. I
Oh
know
my God.
an early Scar film. If
That
Scar's a
would be
big part of
interesting.
this movie, I might be more interested, more inclined to see it. But
But that being
the
said,
audience
I
has
mean,
spoken. No one's going to
mm,
see Mufasa. Everyone's going to see Sonic.
bloody hell.
Um,
Bro. We got to talk about this. Okay. I'll leave my comments till after the video, just in case, because we've got a tight schedule, people. And the evidence, yeah, he said he's going to go out later. By the way, we have another person joining the channel at some point. Name's Well, I don't know what if I should name him yet. He may have a moniker he'd like to go by, so I'll wait.
yeah, let's not
But
let's go with Monicas. Stick with Monicas.
yeah, it's the best way to do it. And he's one of those Yanks. He's one of these. He's actually from Texas, so he's a bit righty. But that being said, he's nice and neutral when it comes to just giving his views on pop culture. He's a pure at heart pop culture fan of pop culture. So I mean, that's to say, he grew up TV. And, and let me see, he grew up with he'll introduce himself, but he grew up just knowing all the stuff that we talk about. Us, me and Movie Dan, we have a ton of pop culture references, even though we come from a variety of backgrounds. Given Movie Dan, is he's quite the he's very well read, as you know. I'm talking about you like you're not here, but this other dude, he is just he comes from a different kind of show business. Well, sports, he's super sporty, so he's very he wants to get his hands stuck in things, which is why I brought this up is to say that he's going to go with his family at some point to Disneyland in Japan, where we are, and then we're going to get another on on the ground report, if you will, just like what Professor Suzuka did for the Nintendo Land and the theme park and the museum. We're going to get one of those, especially as I he's neutral. He's not necessarily pro Sonic, he's not necessarily pro Mufasa. He just whatever works. So he probably will watch both movies and give us his honest take and say, hey.
That's fair.
But so he's very neutral in that regard. So that being said, we start here. Movie Dan and I.
Yeah, you say if you're interested in knowing the direction of the video, you just have a quick look at my name. It'll tell you what I'm talking about. I will periodically change it regarding on the context. So whatever we're talking about, you'll know. Am I Gamer Dan or am I Movie Dan? Movie Dan tends to trust a little bit more conservatively,
That is
whereas
it, mate.
Gamer Dan's more relaxed. Right, but jumping in, we're watching this
Yeah, mate.
vignette. We're going to talk
So let's
about
jump
a
in.
bunch of different things in the movie industry and talking about video game movies as a whole.
Mm.
Ba-ba-ba. Bring it up, sharing sound. Boom, here we are. Look at that handsome
Yo,
man.
Jimmy. Let's talk, man. All
I'm
right.
so glad he's back. I am so glad he
It's
took a
amazing,
step
isn't it?
away from films. You know, we'll talk about it in a moment, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he. I'm excited that he's back. So
Hmm.
good to see him again. Right, let's do this thing.
Yeah. Do
I
this thing.
asked for a kick-ass franchise. Next thing you know, here I am, right through the Sega wormhole.
Jim Carrey is a genius. So inventive.
Comedic
No,
mastermind.
please just spoil it.
The greatest thing in the world.
That may be hyperbole. You decide. Since we saw Robotnik
Oh my God, I don't even know
last,
how to watch
he's
it.
been
It's so
growing his
beautiful.
hair and gaining a lot of weight.
We have visitors.
We need your help.
Do this! Jim Carrey always plays different characters, even if he's playing one, but this time, he's literally playing two different people.
It's impossible.
Is it?
It couldn't be.
Couldn't it?
Are you? In the saggy flesh.
Well, when they told me
It's amazing that they have been so faithful to the original source material. I'm
Yeah.
so proud that the company behind it they bloodied their nose right at the beginning when they first did the very first trailer and we saw ugly Sonic. Just
Mm.
the vitriol, the fan backlash was so
So
intense.
severe. Yeah, bloody hell.
It really
Uh,
it made them go back and just redo the whole thing. I felt terrible for the animators who had to go
yeah,
back and
it's not
meticulously
their fault.
change the whole film. They were obviously crunching. They were notably crunching hard to get that film ready for release. But it showed the going back to the original source and the way that Sonic looks in the games through this art material, it felt right. This is the Sonic that we
Mm.
like. This is a Sonic that you purchased as an IP.
Mm.
Just lean into the reason you bought it. You bought it because it was popular. Don't change it. Give us the thing that was popular originally, and they did, and they ran with that idea. The second one was such a great telling of the second game, and the third one is just Sonic Adventure 2 writ large. Yes, please. And the choices for voice actors, oh my God, nailing it. Just absolutely nailing it. This is such pitch perfect casting. Uh, it
Bro,
it feels like
it's
a
such a
real
fantastic.
benchmark in video game
Yeah.
movies,
Oh
which
my
is
God.
long held a really ugly stereotype. The idea of a video game movie. That video games were such a new art form that when they
Yeah.
translated to early films, they had to be interpreted. They weren't taken one for one. They were just
They weren't taken
imagined.
seriously.
Oh, of course not, because it's
Mm.
at the time video games were seen as a childish thing. It was just like
Mm.
arcade machines, but for the home. it wasn't until like the 90s that they really started, the developers started really leaning into, we're not here to grind coins. We have to tell a story. We have to keep the audience's attention because this
That's
isn't
it.
about like this isn't an NES game, all right? It's not like we're just going to ramp up the difficulty and then it'll take you 6 months to play the damn thing because it's so hard. No, you've got to sell us something. Tell us a story.
Yes, yes,
And
indeed.
that's when
Well,
video
yeah,
game movies started pitching a way that if it started getting better. They started being, more realistic, so a little bit more
yeah,
accurate to the source material. It was a slow process and a lot of missteps, but aside from Yule Bowl, which is a isolated environment, Yule Bowl is one of the like he's
oh yeah,
he was a video game movie producer. He like almost exclusively used video game IPs, and he made just awful, just terrible movies. But as it turns out, he was using it as like a tax haven. He was taking in
mm,
a lot of investment, and then he was laundering the money through his company in different
oh
countries
yeah,
and making a massive profit. So the making the movie wasn't the goal; it was
yeah,
laundering the money was the goal, and to that effect, he was very successful. He became
yeah,
very, very wealthy. He made the people investing very wealthy, but the movies were terrible. He was doing a disservice to the IP, and we won't stand for that anymore. Video gaming is the world's biggest entertainment. It crushes films. It's crushing music, and to a lot of places, it's more popular, more successful, more profitable than sports.
yeah, but
So,
dude, yes,
at this point, it's a very real argument that video games are the entertainment of the current age. Everyone
yeah,
plays. Everyone plays a game in
everyone,
some shape or form, whether it's on a mobile, whether it's on a tablet, it's on a PC,
yeah,
it's on a console, on any form of console. Whether you're young or old, everyone's playing a video game. So
yeah,
it's about
dude,
time that the movies start reflecting those games, start showing the games the respect that they deserve. That you don't have charlatans laundering money using the classic IPs. We don't have half-baked, misinterpreted films, and we don't have anything like the original Super Mario movie. Sorry, there is only one Super Mario movie. There's only one. There's only one Super Mario movie, and it
I
was
told
very
you, never just
recent.
think of
There
it.
was nothing before it. There was
Sorry, Bob
nothing
Hoskins.
before it.
Dude,
Right.
you touched on so many good points, but oh my God, shall I speak now or later? What should I do?
Yeah, tell your thoughts and then we'll continue.
Okay, yeah, my gosh, you brought touched on so many good points. Yeah, the okay, let me see. So many thoughts. My mind's kind of trying to grab them before they slip away from me. But yeah, okay, I'll just throw one out there. But you know me and my tinfoil hat mind. I some people may say in the audience, "Oh, get over it," or you just drop it, or game it. No, MatMadik, I just say. Yes, by the way, you probably figured out my name by now. But the the whole thing about Sonic's movie being originally starring an ugly mascot being switched, I wouldn't put it past some genius, but maybe I'm wrong. But hey, I'm just gonna say maybe, but I wouldn't put it past some genius to actually have done that on purpose to wind up to do as a massive fan baiting, rage baiting campaign to kind of get people to super appreciate. Because there's one thing about the gaming audience there, it's not only are they with their art craft not taken seriously, but they're notoriously hard to please. Well, it's because
That
indeed
is
the art
true.
craft wasn't taken seriously. So you could do a movie that's pretty decent, and you're like, oh, this is awful. This is shit. And but if you
Yeah.
get all the annoyances out the way first, then you get then you get so much that now you're doing it right. Support from
It's
the
placing a reasonably attractive person next to an objectively ugly person. It's like, yo,
right.
look how good they look in
Exactly.
comparison.
That is it. Yeah. I mean, so I wouldn't put it past some genius to have at least thought, oh, at the very least, if it truly was organic, then maybe it would have given some ideas for somebody in the future, or at least made somebody thought, you know what, that would have been a good idea to have done to as a giant fan baiting thing. But speaking of fan baiting, yeah, things got kind of out of control with I don't want to say political stuff. Let's say woke stuff. When it comes to the Disney, I personally, when it comes to the idea of the Black Little Mermaid, I have zero issues with that, people, in case you didn't know. I think, so what? But at the same time, I understand the whole what the whole cultural thing was going on about. So I'm like, whatever. But at the end of it, I never like personally, I never let a tribe or whatever group of people dictate to me when I should watch a movie for myself. So I think if I had Little Mermaid to watch right now, I'd watch it. I haven't seen it, but if I had it if I had time, I'd check it out. I don't care what anybody says. I love to make my own view up and make up my own mind because I hate to not be in the know and let somebody try to think for me. Now, when it came to Jimbo here, I love the fact that like like we're saying he's back in business. Um, and we can't deny the elephant in the room. Part of the reason why he said he was stepping away from a lot of Hollywood stuff, I think politics played a part in part of the reason why I stepped away from Twitter in the first place. But at the end of the day, I don't care about that. I want to see this genius acting, doing his comedic, brilliant stuff. And whether I'm, like right, left, or indifferent, whatever, I love Sonic. He made a line in Sonic 2, for those of you who don't know, he said, good people on both sides. And I was like, okay, he had to throw that in at some point. I was like, but I thought, this dude is a bloody genius. He can say whatever the hell he wants. And
Mm.
he's back in Sonic 3, and he said he need the money. I started to think to myself, was his stepping away from the limelight not just about sorting himself out personally, but due to the pop culture climate and how things are changing, or did he just? I mean, because before the whole anti-Twitter thing kicked off with this with Jim and so on, he was already having issues with Hollywood, calling out some of the. For those of you who know what this means, remember when he did this? I know it's a kind of a creepy symbol, but yeah, when he's saying he was going out trying to call out Hollywood for all these underground societies, and thus therefore he wanted to step away from Hollywood. And I respect him for having his moment to kind of introspectively deal with a lot of stuff that a lot of actors go through that a lot of people have no bloody idea. The pressures that these actors go, they don't get paid all this money for nothing. They have to sometimes pay for the security. People are all over them all the time, and they get inundated with all these people, and not just people on the street, but executives just giving all this stuff. And sometimes you just need a break. It's sometimes not worth it, and you just need to step away. But I'm glad that he came back with this fresh, neutral movie, Sonic. And when he came back in, I just got to see him. There was no sort of, there's nothing you can say about it to say, oh, he's trying to, well, apart from that line in Sonic, but nobody cares that he's trying to make a stand and be virtue signaling for this or on this side or nothing of the sort. It's just
He's just
pure
just doing the
entertainment.
job. He's just playing the
Doing the,
role as best he can, as
yeah,
well as he could.
yeah,
It's
and it's just,
interesting that
mm,
you mentioned that he stepped away because of this.
yeah,
I've heard different things. I've heard he took time away because he needed time away. People burned out, and you're quite right. It's difficult to empathize with someone who's making millions and millions of dollars per project. When you
mm,
see that the amount of money they're given, it's alien. I can't
mm,
conceptualize of a paycheck that big. I can't, but
mm,
I can empathize with intrusive and abusive executives
yeah,
because I've
yeah,
been railing all 2024. I was railing against intrusive and abusive executives in the video game industry, and that's true. But it's true of so many industries. I mean, how many great artists have been screwed by music execs? Bots are bumping up certain play people. I know that there's a whole Drake lawsuit thing going on about this. We can
mm,
talk about that in time. But
mm,
it's also true of intrusive and abusive execs in Hollywood for a long time.
mm,
Once you get into that upper echelon, you're the one you're making the decisions. You're the producing side rather than the public facing. The producers have so much sway over the direction of the film. They're the ones funding it. They're the ones organizing it. They're the ones choosing who gets to work on it. But they have so little public scrutiny. It's so
yeah,
infrequent we get to even see them. You might see them in passing in the background of an executive party when the talent is up front and center because that's their job. Their job is to be in front of the stage where instead of the people managing, organizing everything behind the stage. But the ones behind the stage are the ones with the money. They're the ones
mm,
making the decisions. So, yes, there is an enormous amount of pressure, not just from the ground up, from the fans, from the public facing, the public, towards the artists, but also this enormous amount of manipulation and pressure from the execs they want a return on their investment. They want to they see this film this way, and they feel they know better. Instead of the people who are in the trenches making the movie, the artists, the creative side, the developers, if you will, of the film. No, it's the executives saying, we want to do this, we want to do this to happen, we want these things to occur. So, yes, especially once you reach a certain level, once you reach like the kind of notoriety that would warrant millions of dollars per paycheck, there's security involved. There is, just so much consideration to everything you do. Your life is not your own. It is a public product. People are not selling. You're not just an actor or a musician. You are a product in and of yourself, and your entire life is that. It's like when Britney Spears went completely
Yeah.
off the rails. My heart bled for her because
Me too.
she'd spent so many years in the public eye and she was so popular, so loved. But because of that, everything she did, every movement was scrutinized and observed and studied. I remember the rise of fame of the Spice Girls. Every
Yeah.
little thing was observed. There was a whole section on a daytime channel. They had the Spice Girls on this Good Morning Britain style morning show, and they were talking about their lives and they're talking about the band and whatnot. But for days afterwards, they scrutinized what they were wearing, what they talked
Yeah.
about. They tried to fact check everything. They did a whole section on the doodles they made on the table. When they were doing the interview, they had pens and paper, and occasionally they were doing little doodles. They took them and they made it a whole freaking section talking about, oh, well, this is clearly indicative of this kind of personality. And they had handwriting specialists come in, and they had
Jeez.
psychologists come in, and
No.
it's frustrating. I can imagine being in that kind of maelstrom. Having that level
Yeah.
of scrutiny is difficult. And if, as I understand it, Jim Carrey took a step away from the limelight because he needed time
Mm.
away. He needed time away from the systems, away from the scrutiny, away from the cameras and the lights to just be and figure
Yeah.
himself out. And apparently he took a bit of his quest. People didn't like the new uh, woke or awakened kind of spiritual Jim Carrey. He stopped getting movie offers, but he needed that time to kind of decompress, to revitalize himself. And I've long been a fan, a proponent, a champion for therapy, for taking time out for mental health. You need these things. You do need these things. To Right, let's watch the rest of the
Yeah,
video.
dude. That's it. You said it.
Told me I was going to play 2 Robotniks. I was delighted
There's 2 Eggmen now? Double your villains, double your fun.
until I realized I was doing twice the work for the same pay.
What?
Who's gonna play Jim Carrey's grandpa? It's gotta be Jim Carrey.
Holy crap.
When I first came on set, I did not even know it was Jim.
We had one of the most zany makeup experiences of my life.
Watching his energy,
More than the mask.
the physicality, to behold.
I like it. So,
Robotnik. Going full spandex, huh? Who's the fossil?
That's my genius, Grand Gino.
Here we go.
that's a line. Another line. Full
This
spandex.
thing
Like
is
it,
so huge,
especially in
you won't
Fight Club.
believe it's about a
You know.
hedgehog.
I am excited for this movie. It looks really good.
Yeah.
It's also honest to the source material, and I am just happy Jim Carrey is back. Before we did this video, we were like a pre-game, we talked to each other, and I said that the two men have a direct line to my funny bone. Bill Murray
Yeah.
is just like the grandfather of comedy in American film
Especially Deadpan.
specifically. In American film, it's Bill Murray and it's Jim Carrey. Those two men have made me laugh more than anyone else. Well, I'm a big fan of Eddie Murphy. His earlier stuff. Eddie Murphy's stand-up is hilarious. I like
Yes.
a lot of stand-up comedians. A lot of a lot of comedians in general. Richard Pryor, Mel Brooks, even the original Marx Brothers. I love them with a passion. But no one has made me laugh harder, longer, more frequently than Jim Carrey and Bill Murray. So now that he's back, I am so happy.
I know, my man. You know what's great? Oh, and oh my God. Again, you get me so excited that you start talking because I like my mind's, I don't know, ADHD mind just wants to There's many things
Mm.
I have to control it. Hey, take it easy, MatMadik. All right. Let's see. First of all, let me see. If I get going, I think I can catch my stride. Okay. We're talking about one thing you mentioned before about stepping away from the limelight, it's great to come back through a game series because game characters are the stars that stars wish they could be. You know, it's a wind up toy, if you will, if you manage in a manner of speaking, that you can put up there and let kids put in their mouths to do whatever, you know, do whatever they
Mm.
want with it, and then when you can sit back, it's the game character, and again, it has to be done right. Is the perfect talent for the game exec agencies, if you will, all the show business agencies, because it's a mascot that can be interacted with. If you want to see what Mario's drawing, you could just program a Mario to be doing a drawing, but it has to be done right. You can't just, just if you can't just be all some fan art malarkey that just looks like it's drawn by the kids themselves. But when it comes to the actual people, like you say, when you're marketing people themselves, like with the music industry and and Hollywood acting world, and the people get like Michael Jackson to it, being filmed all over the place, and it's like, whoa, come on now, give me a break. That yeah, people snap now, which is funny because today, I think the reason why you snap is not so much that people don't like being recorded so often, it's that you're so isolated. Because today,
Mm.
with iPhones, iPhones, smartphones, whatever, everyone is recording themselves all the time as though they wish people could. Anyway, so people are making themselves the stars that they wish that they wish they could be when they were looking at the Spice Girls and so on. With the social media these days, the trick is getting people to care. But now when you've got a franchise like Sonic, everything here with Sonic is grassroots. The movies, the whole thing was grassroots till here we are now. And even the evolution of the movie ties into actual Jim Carrey. The way he played his character with Robotnik when he came in, he had hair, and I was like, oh no. And then oh, okay, he shaved his hair by the end of the movie. Okay, okay. And then the next movie he had the mustache. I was like, okay. And this movie he's fat. And I was like, okay, he's becomes Eggman. So Jim probably feels like this is great. I get a chance to become this guy, not just a guy in costume just laughing and acting silly, but I'm a character who becomes the Eggman that you
Mm.
finally see in the game. And Jim
I
probably
like that.
thought,
I like that thought. I like that because he's been given time and enough films, like in the games, the iteration.
yeah,
He's become such a more perfect representation of the character. And it's funny you mentioned that early video game characters are great for actors because they are fairly archetypical. You know, they didn't have a lot
mm,
of dialogue, they didn't have a lot of and all the characterizations were very big and pronounced, easily observable from a distance. You just looked at the picture and you were like, "Yo, I got it." You didn't even have to
yes,
say anything. Like they were perfect representations of an archetype, of an example, of a stereotype. And you know what? There is some joy to be found in playing an unequivocal villain. There is some joy to be playing a character that is such a perfect example of this because you can ham it up, you can have fun with it. He's not layered. There's no depth. It's what it says on the tin, and there is pride in playing a character that needs to be unpacked, peeled back, and understood because that performance will allow for depth. But
yes,
there is joy in playing a one note character because you can go hog wild, go crazy with the damn thing, and it's exactly in keeping. You just play that
yeah.
character as fill in the blank as you can, and you're good. So
Is it
I think
so?
this
It's a
see, this
best of
is
both, I suppose.
this was you're absolutely right. I think this was a fantastic role to cut Jim Carrey's teeth because apparently the rumor mill is saying that he's looking to get back into the film industry. He took a step back for his own personal reasons, but
Mm,
now he's trying to get back in a more serious way. He's looking for more roles. But the success of these films, on the joy that the fans have had with him in these films, yeah, the fans are welcoming him back. People are excited to see him. We like Jim Carrey again. Let's see him in some more serious roles. I loved him as
mhm.
the rubber faced comic. I loved him as a serious dramatic. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a beautiful movie,
Yeah,
so well performed. It's like Robin Williams in
yeah,
the photograph film. He
yeah. Oh,
nails
yeah. One
that
Hour
movie
Photo.
as a
God
dark
damn,
character, as a dark stalker.
that
Ooh,
terrified me, man. I was like,
mm.
shoot.
But it was having
Yes.
such a beloved, funny guy, play such a dark character really worked. But it's so out of his depth, you know.
That is it.
But
And
I'm excited for the
yeah,
movie. I'm excited to see Jim Carrey. I'm looking forward to seeing him play his own grandfather. But
yeah,
just, you know what? It's just two of them, you know, and they're going hog wild. I want to see how accurate it is to the original story,
yeah,
how crazy they're going to go. But I'm also excited for Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves gets to play
yeah. Bloody
Shadow,
hell.
and you know, I've talked about the idea of the archetypical villains to a hero are twofold. You have the antithesis and the shadow. The antithesis is the opposite. Superman is strong and good. Lex Luthor is smart and bad. But then you have the dark shadow, which is a same as Zod. It's Superman, but evil. Shadow
Right.
is Sonic's shadow. It's in the name, you know. Um, but
That is it.
yeah, Robotnik is its antithesis, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I will doing a review for it for the channel. This year we're gonna finally we've been talking about it for a while. We're finally pulling the trigger. It's MovieDan reviews. I will be doing
Again.
one for this, for Venom, for Deadpool, but also I want to expand out and look at different films. So if you have a film you want me to review, pop it down in the comments. Just really literally whack it in the comments. I will do a review and I will give you my 2 cents. Hopefully, I can build up a relationship with the audience and you get to know what kind of films I like, what kind of things I prefer, and we can build on this thing. But more
Super.
than that, I lean into. We'll start off with the popcorny, the superhero-y films, but we're also going to delve into some darker, some more out there films. We'll see how it goes. Right.
Thank you so much. Gave me a movie, Dan. It's gonna take a while for that to set in my mind.
Well,
But
yeah,
yeah,
it's going to flip between. You know, my name is Dan,
yeah.
but whatever the hell I'm doing, then I'm
Yes.
Gamer Dan or I'm Movie Dan.
Thank you so much, my man. All right, well, have a good time in the movie. There's so many questions I got, but I'll wait till you drop that review and then I'll oh, I just want to know, are we finally gonna deal with putting animals in the robots, or is that just scrapped? I don't know. But put that
Interesting
in the
question.
review.
Interesting question. We'll see. We'll see. Right. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.